talked a little bit earlier on player welfare and fitting games into the calendar that have been cancelled, and David Dean has just been on the radio talking about reducing the Premier League to 18 teams. Is that something that you would be a fan of?
Listen, there's so many changes and things. I just want to focus. These are the rules. We are playing by the rules that we are given. We have other people making those decisions, and at the moment nobody asked if we will be happy to play the World Cup in the middle of the season. So I'm sure I won't be asked if that's a good thing or not.
There's been a lot of talk, obviously, this week about the North versus South game, and I just wondered if you ever had any big innovations that you thought you'd love to share with football, and you'd love to see them brought in.
I prefer not to. I stay away from it.
Mikel, Aaron is obviously getting a chance in the England squad without Jordan Pickford being there, and there's a fair bit of conversation around whether he should be number one or not. What sort of chance do you think this international break coming up will be for him?
I hope he is. I think it will be great for us. I think it will be great for Aaron, and I think he's shown in the last year or so what he's capable of doing, and we will be watching and waiting for that decision.
Do you think it could be a big confidence boost for him to get him?
I think Aaron is pretty confident. I think it will be a good reward for him for what he's done.
And you touched on Arsene earlier and saying that every door and window here at the club is open for him, but his presence maybe not being there in the stands in the early days of your time as manager, do you think that was maybe helpful to you? Do you think he's done you a favour there by the camera not cutting to him every time?
I don't know. I would have loved to have him closer as well, to have the possibility to open up and in certain periods just listen and learn from him and everything that he's been through. But he did it in a way to say, listen, I want to make sure that whoever comes after that has the respect, the space that he believed it was important, and he honored that, and that's for me the reason why he did it.
Are you quite grateful for that? Because I suppose it could have changed a couple of situations.
I'm grateful for him since the day I came here, for the opportunity that he gave me, always the way he treated me, the way he inspired me, and how supportive he has always been with me. So, always like this.
Last one, Sam.
Mikel, one of the issues at Brentford last year was the physicality, and you mentioned how hard a place it is to go. When you look at the team now and the team that played then, there's a lot of big lads in it now. Gabriel, Saliba, Tomiyasu's come in, big guys. I mean, how much better equipped do you think they are to cope with that physical challenge than you were?
I would tell you after the game, when that ball goes in the air with Tony, even if it's Gabi, I've seen a lot of games of them, he goes like that against any defender, he can hold the ball and make you feel like this. I don't know. I will prepare my players to say when that ball is there, you have to be ready. But then I know that they have to win the duels.
But something that people associate the style of football you want to play, while you've done that, you've also signed a lot of players who are physically powerful. How much does that come into your thinking?
I think you have to use the right word. I think you have to be equipped physically in this league. That doesn't mean only the physical contact. But you have to be very equipped here as well, because you are very physical, but you don't read the situations. You are always late. So it's a balance that you need.
Can I just go back to Emil? I mean, there's been a suggestion you might need an operation. Is that a concern for you? I mean, it's obviously an ongoing issue, isn't it?
Well, I'm concerned about the fact that we don't have him available, and when he's been trying to train, he's not been feeling 100% fit or pain-free, and this is the main concern, and we have to find a solution to that, and we are trying to do so.
Has it been frustrating for him? I mean, obviously, he's not in the England squad for next week, and
very frustrating, and he's a kid that loves playing football, and that's his biggest thing in his life, and was not capable of doing that, especially after the run of games and performances that he had with us the year before. It's just difficult to assume, but as well, injuries are part of football. They're going to get at some stage in your career. Is how you're going to face those difficult moments, who is going to be surrounded about, and then how you're going to make the next step, and you have to go through that.
I mean, he is only sort of 20, 21, and he's already sort of missing quite a lot of games. This is something that needs sorting out sooner rather than later?
Yeah, but it's something pretty common at certain ages, especially when they've gone from where they were to where he went straight away. And it's our responsibility to manage in the best possible way, to surround him with the right habits as well, with the right people around him to support everything that he needs to play at this level consistently, which is every day more and more demanding.
Could just ask you finally, are you okay with Thomas? He's being called up by Ghana next week, 2 games. You okay with that? Bearing in mind he hasn't played for however long.
Well, for sure, my priority right now is that he has consistent performance and availability with the club, and we haven't managed to do that at the level that I think is required. It's true that he has the responsibility and the duty to go to the national team, and if that's the case, if he's fit to do so, is to manage him the best possible way, because we cannot continue like that.
Will you ask them not to play him in both games? Or?
What we need is not about don't ask him or ask him. It's about having the understanding of the situation, the amount of months that we are still going to need Thomas, and what is in between those months, and that we have that full in communication, and that we look after the player, all of us, in the right way. And there is only one thing, which is the welfare of the player. This is the most important thing.
Mikel, people joke about the curse of the Manager of the Month award, but last time you won it in March, you lost 3 games in a row and crashed out of the Champions League.
Thank you so much.
Were you tempted to send it back?
I'm going to send it back to you.
But in all seriousness,
Let's change that. So the next one I can have it, can really enjoy it, grab it and keep it and sleep with him for the next few weeks without any fear. So let me be the one who can change that.
But in all seriousness, since you've been here, you've gone on brilliant runs of 5 or 6 games when it looks like it's all coming together, and then you've kind of dropped off for a few games. Is that the last piece of the jigsaw?
Unfortunately, it's not the last piece. I think there are still a lot of pieces there, but yes, we want to win every game.
But is it a concern that you do drop off for several games once, just when you seem to get it right? It seems to go in waves.
Yes, obviously you analyze as well what happened in those moments. It's very important to understand if it's always under the same reason or it's very different reasons. But of course, that is something that we must improve.
Okay. Mikel, do you think that as a squad and as a team, that your players are maybe better equipped to handle and respond to disappointment than they have been previously? So obviously against United, you played well, maybe didn't deserve to lose, but you did. Do you think that you're better equipped to respond to that than you were before?
I would like to think so. Obviously, experiences, when you take them the right way, I think they can be very valuable lessons. And I think we have gone through a few of them. And obviously, those players probably they don't have the experience that any other players that you compare with them at those clubs. But they are certainly willing to do that.
How do you see that difference? How does it manifest itself? I mean, is it in how they play or how they're conducting themselves? How do you see it?
You feel it. When you speak to somebody, you feel it when he's in a moment and he needs some support, or when you see this guy is ready and is very reassuring. Sometimes it can be an act as well, but it's something that when you get to know your players, normally you tend to feel it.
And just on the game with Brentford last season, we talked about it a lot before. You lost it badly, but in a quite specific way, and we know there were other circumstances. But is that something that you can use now to show your players how far they've come since? Is it something
I think Brentford has given us a lot of arguments in the last year or 2 years to really believe that you're going to go there and you're going to have a big battle and you're going to suffer. You want to go there and get the 3 points out of that stadium. I think they are very clear on that, and we have many examples. Is there one question? Let him do it.
Yeah, just do Dan. Go.
Yeah.
Hi, Mikel. I just wondered, would you take players like international prospects into consideration with selection? For example, with Ben, if he felt he's not getting picked by England because he's playing right back rather than centre back, and he came to you and spoke about that, but I suppose it could be any player. Would you consider those kind of implications?
I will consider that because I want the best for my players, and I want my players to have the best careers as they possibly can. And I know how important the national team. I don't believe it's the case. Like I don't believe when Bukayo used to play a left back or then a left wing, but he's never played as a right wing in his life. But yeah, it's something that for sure, if there is a feeling there towards it, I'm sure that is something that I'm going to share with the players directly.